Hey guys, how's it going? Justin here from Walts, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Kanto speaker stands. We have the SPH and the SLH, and also their new soundbar TV mount. So instead of going into the when and why first, we're actually going to unbox and build these suckers. Now, these are the SLH, and as you may have noticed if you've been following Kanto, is they did a rebrand, and I really like how their new logo and text and all their packaging looks. Since this is the first Kanto product I've reviewed since their new rebranding, I thought I'd mention it, but let's go ahead and see what's in the box. So we open it, and then we have the two, looks like the arms. We have our guide, which we're going to need that. And then we have the two arms. These are the main part of the mount. And as we dig a little bit deeper here, well packaged, I must say, we have our hardware case. And then these must be the base plates because they're all nice and boxed up. Really great packaging. I mean, this is sturdy. It's not going to get damaged in transit. And yes, I know it's just a speaker stand, but you know, it's the details that matter, right? All right, so that's pretty much it. Empty box. We can go ahead and put this to the side. Now all we're going to need is our handy dandy instruction manual, and we can start building this thing. So looks like you're going to get a couple screws for different areas and a couple different brackets, which is really cool. All right, so I'll make sure to get some shots of just all the hardware that we have here, but we have our screws, and then we have a couple different mounting brackets. So this one's gonna be like an L, and then you have one that can maybe do a wider speaker. And then I'm not really sure what this plate's for, but I'm sure there's a speaker out there. So we'll try to find some different examples of using these. The first and important thing we're gonna wanna do is get these actual arms to the base plate. So it looks like we have to unscrew on the bottom. So go ahead and unscrew the screw on the bottom. This is going to be what we use to secure it. And it looks like it wants us to put them in the middle or back. Oh, so you can choose. I'm going to go with middle just for, actually, since these have a slanted arm, I'm actually going to go, I think middle probably will work the best. So we have the rubber feet on the bottom, and essentially we might not be able to do this the best to show you guys, but you're just gonna kind of hold it, and then you gotta thread that screw on the bottom. So once we get it threaded, then we can actually tighten it. So now it's threaded, we can go ahead and tighten it. And this is, might I add, a nice heavy sturdy base plate. It doesn't look like much, it looks very thin, but definitely is not lightweight. So you're not gonna have an issue, I don't think, with speakers falling off. So here we go. It's already set up in the position we want it. Now we just have to add the correct plate. So this is really just going to depend on what speaker you're using, but you'll be able to use these plates when you're looking at your speaker and say, okay, I need to use this one because it reaches this screw. Same kind of thing on the top here. It's just a screw that's already in there, so we have to release it. And then we're going to go ahead and put that bracket in there and screw it in. And now we just have to find the speaker that we're going to use. It also has a little slit here for cable management. If it's a power cord, you might have some trouble running that through, but if it's a thin enough, you know, like let's say it's the satellite speakers that have the thin wire, you could definitely fit that in there. Or if you're running, you know, smaller bookshelf speakers in the back that are hardwired, you could definitely feed that through. And then it comes out, there's a little chute down there. So yeah, once you unscrew that, you can bring it up, and it goes really tall, taller than I was expecting. So let's see how tall we can get it to be secure. Just twist. And yeah, I mean, that looks pretty secure to me. So that right there, let's just put it on the ground so you can kind of see just above my waist, which it says we're at 32. This table's at 32 inches up. So yeah, I mean, it goes up 34, I would say, is probably a safe bet. But again, we'll talk about that more when we get into actual video. So yeah, I mean, obviously I took my time doing that, but that was less than 5 minutes in setup. And yeah, very sturdy, very minimal. We'll cover some more features after we unbox the other ones. All right, so that's the SLH. Now we're gonna do the SPH. These feel heavier, and I assume they're gonna be a little bit harder to set up, but we will see. First thing when you open, some extra security. We got our manual. Again, the legs on top. These are definitely a lot bulkier, as they should be, since they need to hold some more weight. We also have the bolt pattern box, and then we have plates. This time we have more though. We have, this looks like the base. Sorry, you guys can't really see, but looks like we have a base. This will probably be at the top. And then we have the bottom down here, which is, golly, it's the clink of that. And then it looks like this must be for cable management's sake. Yeah, because that goes over it. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so we have 3 kind of pieces per side versus the other one was just the 2 and then the small bracket at the top. So go ahead and get all these kind of out and ready to go, and then we'll start the building process. So it wants us to start with the leg facing up and the backside out. And then the piece that says Kanto, that's what we're gonna screw in first. So that's gonna be this plate right here. And there's a screw, it looks like Allen, but essentially we're gonna have to unscrew this piece right here. Just an Allen screw. And man, is it a deep thread. And then we're gonna put this Kanto plate on with the text facing me. Very similar to the last one, how you just kind of gotta get it in there. And then we'll definitely want to make sure it's lined up before we tighten it too much. Okay, I feel good there. Okay, now it wants us to flip to the other side, where we put this piece on first. And I'm gonna guess that this is the way you do it because of the little wire indent there. If you're running the cable down or through, it comes out there. So we put that on first, and then we have to put the big giant heavy piece on, which literally feels like something from a futuristic movie. Very, very heavy. And then we gotta find the right screws. So for this one, it's gonna be the C screws, which there's only C screws. Go ahead and thread these, and then we'll tighten them once we kind of get them 100% in the way we like. And that is the bottom. Now, we do have to put in the feet for our application. You could make the argument that we would use the pointy feet, but we're gonna use the rubber feet just because we are moving them a lot and we don't want to scratch up the floor, let alone the base. These are just nice. Screw in, get them nice and tight, and we can flip it back over on its top. Actually, I take that back. The pointy feet are for the carpet. These are not, these are for the non-carpet surfaces. So once we have those in, we can go ahead and flip it back over. And you'll see there's some adjustments that we can make with the Allen key. I'm gonna say recommend making those adjustments before you put the speaker on, mainly because once the speaker's on, it's gonna be hard to kind of thread. But yeah, I mean, we definitely wanna raise these up a little, but not much, so we'll go ahead and make that adjustment now. And once they're out, we should be able to make that adjustment. From the top, yes, okay. So I don't wanna go too high just for video's sake, but we'll go up 2 notches, and then we can find them in there, thread them, and then tighten them as we please. We get this one nice and tight, and we're done. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was gonna be a little bit more setup, but still overall very, very fast. And this is very sturdy, so we'll throw some speakers on there and get some shots, and again, we'll kind of talk through it. Now the SLH is tailored for these smaller satellite or bookshelf speakers. It can be adjusted from anywhere from 26 inches to 40, It's designed with a solid base and post, not only to minimize the vibrations, but also just to hold the speakers up. And still, on the topic of design, it's just very minimalist and it just doesn't look like it takes up a lot of space. And what's cool about these stands is they come with 3 different mounting brackets, so you can pretty much universally mount these to just about any speaker. It's also got cable management built in, so if you have a small enough cable, you can run that through the stand. Really, the only limiting factor here is it's only rated for up to 9 pounds. So, I mean, a lot of bookshelf speakers, you'll probably need something a little bit bigger, but for most satellites, I think this is going to work great. So, yeah, I mean, these are a great option for someone who's looking to not take up too much space. You don't have super heavy speakers and you really just want a sleek look. The SPHs are Kanto's ultimate new floor standing adjustable bookshelf speaker stands. They can go from 24 to 42 and comfortably without any crazy rocking. It's built all from steel, and as you might have noticed in the unboxing, I was really shocked at just how heavy some of the pieces were. It's also got a great design that's going to help lower that vibration. And something that's a little bit cooler on this one as opposed to the SLH is that this actually has different feet options. So you get these rubber kind of round short feet, and that's going to be for your hard surfaces like tile. And then it also has these super pokey feet that are going to go into your carpet and give it more of a raised feel. That way that it's not like getting completely absorbed by the carpet. Now, these stands are rated for up to 30 pounds, so I don't think you're really going to find a bookshelf speaker that weighs more than 30 pounds. So definitely, going to hold up for most people. I'd say the only downside is they don't have like a screw hole thing that you can, screw them down, but I think they're expecting you to put heavy enough speakers to where they're not really going to move anyway. I think this is great for someone who appreciates the design, but also really wants that flexibility and durability of speaker stands. Also, let's take a look at the SB200 soundbar mount. All right, so we took a look at the SPH and the SLH. Now let's unbox the SB200, which is that soundbar mount we were talking about earlier. Now, I'm not really sure how much I'm going to really be able to do here other than unbox it, but if it warrants a put together, we'll do that as well. So we have our manual, which we'll need. Lots of hardware with this piece just because there are a variety of sound bars that you could choose, and they're just kind of trying to prep you for that. So we got some pieces in brown boxes, which we'll have to unbox. And the brackets here, these are the main brackets. YouTube doesn't like knives, so you're gonna have to not watch this part. So we have the 2 main brackets here. And then this one looks like the support arm. Oh, there's 2 in here as well. A lot of pieces to this, so make sure you don't throw away that manual. It's got a lot of stuff going on here. Let's actually, you know what? I think what we'll do is we will grab a soundbar and we'll try to set this up on the back of one. I'm just going to pick one randomly and we'll try to make it work. All right, so we got here the Flexus Core 100. I picked a small one because I want it to all be in frame. But as you can see on the back of this soundbar, we don't have any mounting screws here, which some of them would. That would make our process a lot easier. With a soundbar like this, we have height speakers and we have front speakers. So we don't want to change the orientation to be like this, because then that'll just throw off all of the EQ. But to install it, we have to look at it from a top-down approach. So it looks like there are 2 screw holes that we can use here, right here and here. And what we're gonna wanna do is use these brackets, because these ones we can put like this. They'll secure the bar, which it looks like this one's magnetic, so it's trying to grab. But when we put these 2 here, then we can hook this into the rest of the soundbar. So let's go ahead and do that. There's also lots of washers, might I add, if you need some more spacing, but I think this should work. So again, we want to screw this in here. Let's get it threaded for now, and then we'll tighten it in a second. And the same thing with this guy. So it looks like we actually might need some spacers here because it won't go down any farther. Let's get that spacer in there. We can go ahead and tighten it down. Yep, that's much more secure. A little bit more. And then we'll do the same with this guy over here. Put that on, line it up. Always make sure you hand thread it before you fully screw it in. And there we go. Now we have a nice secure mounting point to the actual bar. Now is where you kind of build out, depending on how long your bar is. These pieces right here that have these little L brackets, essentially what we're gonna do with these is we're gonna mount them to the TV so that once you get the bottom bar, you can hook it in, if that makes sense. So what does that look like? Well, first we'll have to, you know, unscrew these just a little bit to give a little bit of room to hook them into the bracket. So now this is the bracket here. You can extend it wider if you need, or even go in a little bit, but if you have a really wide soundbar, you can use this bracket here. And essentially once you build the rest of it and you get, you know, this piece on top of here and secured to your TV's length or VESA pattern, it'll sit under your TV like this, and then you'll be able to take the bar and just kind of click it into that latch there. And obviously I'm doing a very poor job explaining this and doing it at the same time because we don't have a TV, but it's just a typical tongue and groove type of latch. And then you would just screw from the bottom to secure it. And then, yeah, it's gonna hang right under your TV like that. And the reason we didn't necessarily demonstrate this on a TV is every TV is going to be different. So what you'll probably want to do is start with these pieces, get them, you know, to the back of your TV, and then, you know, this piece will basically just connect to it, and you can decide how long it has to be based on whatever soundbar you're using. And then obviously you put your TV mount on after this, so it's kind of sandwiched in. And yeah, you can pretty much, I don't really see, the only issue I see with this is it does have a weight limit of 22 pounds. So there's only one soundbar I know that won't work with this, and that's the Core 300. So it's the biggest brother of this Flexus Core 100, because that weighs, I think, like 30 something pounds. And that soundbar in general is not really meant to be mounted under a TV, so I don't blame Kanto. I don't think there's really mounts out there that do it, because you have to think you're adding all that extra pressure to the mount that's already on there. So yeah, I'd say this is gonna work for pretty much just about any soundbar other than maybe the Core 300, but always check their weight ratings just in case. Now, if you're looking to pick one of these up and you want to directly support me, I'll make sure to leave those links down in the description. If you guys already own these, I'd love to know what your thoughts are on them down in the comment section as well. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And as always, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of the video. If this is a product that you're interested, make sure to email me at youtube@walts so I can get you a special YouTube discount. If you haven't already, subscribe for more videos like these, and we'll see you in the next one.